Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another tutorial in Melinda's Rubber Room. Today I'll be showing you a fun fold card, and I'm going to be using the Regal Winter Designer Series paper. This is beautiful paper that is a little hard to see the beauty of it all in online or in the catalog, so I just wanted to show you real quickly some of those beautiful prints. It does have a stamp set that goes with it. I'm not using that today, but you can just see how beautiful that paper is. I love the color on that one. Great for all year round as well. So you can purchase that on my online store at melindapierce.stampinup.net. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. So we are starting with a piece of Designer Series paper, and this measures 5 1/4 by 12 inches. And we're going to mark at the halfway point on the 5 1/4 inch side. So that is at 2 5/8. So I'm just going to move this over to 2 1/2, 2 5/8. And I'm just going to make a tick mark on there. It's going to be a little hard to see on this Designer Series paper, but it is there. And what I'm going to do is tilt my paper so that it fits. The tick mark is right there. It's going to go right in the cutting channel, and then it's going to go right. I'm angling this so that this bottom point down here, make sure that's in the camera, this bottom point down here is hitting the cutting channel as well. So we're basically making this into a banner. And I'm going to use my dark cutting blade to cut that. And you want to save those triangles, and then you're going to do the same thing on this edge, so on this corner, so you're lining up your corner or your angle that you just cut along with this bottom corner. And cut with the dark gray tab. Just going to raise that up a little bit so it doesn't catch on that corner. There we go. And there is that banner piece. Put those aside for now, and now we're going to score this at 4 inches and 8 inches. So I'm just lining this up along the straight edge here at 4 inches. Make sure you're using your light gray blade so you don't cut that. And then I'm going to open my cutter up, and at 8 inches we're going to score it as well. And you can kind of line that up with your score line should be at 4 inches, the one that you just did, and you can line it up with your 4 inches to make sure your line is straight. Okay. And then we're going to take our mat piece, and this measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And you need to decide which side of your Designer Series paper you want to show more. So the side that's going to show more is the one that's facing up, and it's going to fold back and then down again. So it's going to be like a little accordion. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that into place. To go ahead and reinforce this fold to make sure it lays down a little bit nicer. Just like that. Then I'm going to bring in my card base, and this measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Go ahead and reinforce that as well. This is just going to get attached right on top. Like so. So that'll open up like that, and then the card will open like that. And then we have a square piece that we're attaching on the front. So we have a piece that measures 3 inches by 3 inches, and another piece that a white piece that measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So that's just going to be attached like that, and then it'll open like that. Okay, so I am going to stamp a bird from the Winterly Treetops. This is such a pretty set. You can use it for all year round, but it has gorgeous boughs and things too, just for Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this in Blackberry Bliss, which is the color of our background paper, or the base of our card. Just going to go ahead and stamp that. We're going to cut it out so I don't need to worry about it being too straight on my paper. And I'm going to go ahead and color that in with the blends. So because I use the regular water-based ink from Stampin' Up, I can use the alcohol markers and the ink is going to stay intact. Okay, so I'm using the Daffodil Delight just to color in the berries. I'm hoping that'll kind of bring out the yellow that's in that background. I think I'll do his beak that color as well. And then I have the light and dark Blackberry Bliss. Actually, these are both light. Okay, so I'll just use the light Blackberry Bliss. And I don't want this to be too dark, so I think the light is the best thing to use anyway. And I'm trying to think what I want for the body. I think I want to keep it a little bit light. Maybe bring out some of the coloring in the paper. Okay, so I'm going to use the light Cherry Cobbler. Hopefully it won't get too dark. But if it does, I can use the color lifter. I'll use the other side. Okay, so it is a little bit darker than I want, so I'm just going to go in with the color lifter and just kind of lift some of that color up. And you may not see it right away, it'll start to lighten up after a while. But I like the texture that the color lifter also gives. It's not real texture, but makes it look not so solid of a coloring. So just let that dry and do its thing. And then I have dark crumb cake that I'm just going to use down here on the bottom. A little branch. Okay, and then I'll use my die and line that up. Bring in my cut and emboss mini machine. Okay, so then I'm going to bring my little square back in. I'm just going to put this down, and I want to make this a thank you card. And I'm going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss as well. Okay, so I can mount that onto my crushed curry square. I'm going to go ahead and place this on the front of my card. And I want to make it so that it can still open up like that. So I'm just going to put some adhesive right here on this section of the triangle. And then place my square right on top. I'm just kind of trying to center that on the front of my card. Looks good. And then I'm going to raise the bird up on dimensionals. Of course, no card is complete without a little bit of bling, so let me get some of that. I'm going to use the Iridescent Rhinestone Basics. I think these might be retired. They were on the clearance rack though, so make sure you always check the clearance rack because there's some really good deals on there. Okay, so there is the front of the card. If you wanted to, you could also put another greeting on the inside here as well. But I kind of like having all that beautiful paper show. And then I'm just going to stamp the inside. Actually, I'm not going to stamp much because it is a thank you card. I want to leave a lot of room for writing. So I'm going to bring in some of that paper that I cut and see how we can best use that. Okay, so for on the inside of the paper, or the inside of the card, I'm going to just go ahead and take that one of those pieces that we had left over. I'm just going to attach it to the inside of the card like that. So I'll just go ahead and adhere, put some glue down. And trim that over, cut it off. That'll be attached to the inside of the card, like so. And there is that completed card. Hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'd be happy to answer anything any questions you might have. Again, you can purchase the products on my online store at melindapierce.stampinup.net. Feel free to join me on my Wednesday Zoom classes. All the information is on my Facebook page at facebook.com/melindasrubberroom. Okay, hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.